Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtoprayeshu abhadreshu Uttam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter 29, text 7. This chapter is entitled as Explanation of Devotional Service. Text 7. śrī-bhagavān uvāca bhakti-yogo bahu-vidho mārgair bhāmini bhāvyate svabhāva-guṇa-mārgeṇa puṁsāṁ bhāvo vibhidyate. śrī-bhagavān uvāca bhakti-yogo bahu-vidho mārgair bhāmini bhāvyate svabhāva-guṇa-mārgeṇa puṁsāṁ bhāvo vibhidyate. bhakti-yogo bahu-vidho mārgair bhāmini bhāvyate svabhāva-guṇa-mārgeṇa puṁsāṁ bhāvo vibhidyate. bhakti-yogo bahu-vidho mārgair bhāmini bhāvyate svabhāva-guṇa-mārgeṇa puṁsāṁ bhāvo vibhidyate.
श्री-भगवान् उवाच भक्ति-yogo बहुविधो mārgair-bhāmini bhāvyate svabhāva-guṇa-mārgeṇa puṁsāṁ bhāvo vibhidyate.
Svabhāva-guṇa-mārgeṇa
puṁsāṁ bahu-vidhaḥ.
śrī-bhagavān uvāca.
śrī-bhagavān.
The personality of Godhead replied. Bhakti-yogaḥ. Devotional service. bahu-vidhaḥ. Multifarious. mārgair. With fat. bhāmini. O noble lady. bhāvyate. Is manifest. svabhāva. Nature. Guṇa. Quality. mārgair. In terms of behavior. puṁsāṁ. Of the executor. bhāvaḥ. The appearance. vibhidyate. Is divided. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor. Please repeat after me. Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor. So, is everyone comfortable with English, with the class in English? सबको ठीक लगता है अंग्रेजी क्लास में? बांग्ला अनुवाद तो हो रहा है, हिंदी अनुवाद का जरूरत होता है, इसको हिंदी सब अंग्रेजी सबको समझ में आता है. Everyone understands. So
इंग्लिश नहीं आती है.
So अच्छा, ये हिंदी will you translate? Okay. इसको अनुवाद का जरूरत है, आप राधा प्यारी के पास. You can come inside. Hare Krishna. Come. Where are you from?
From Ujjain.
Come. Thank you. Anyone else needs और किसी को हिंदी अनुवाद की जरूरत है? Okay. Actually, I emphasize the need for Bhagavatam class in English because it is an important way, it is an effective way to learn. And ISKCON is an international society where people from so many different countries. That's why we should have a common language. And English is the common language in today's day. China is materially progressing, industrially and economically progressing so much. But China is behind India. Although effectivity-wise, China is much more progressed. But in the world scenario, China is behind India because Indians speak English, Chinese don't. Now you know what they're doing in China? Everyone is learning English because they realize the importance of learning English. So this language is, actually language is important to communicate. If you cannot communicate, then how will you relate to people? How will you develop your relationship if you cannot communicate? In here also, if you don't communicate, then what will happen? There will be Bengali groups, Hindi groups, and English groups. If they don't communicate, then they will be like different islands, different groups, because they are not communicating. That's why I very emphatically tell everybody that those who are getting involved in the preaching activities of ISKCON, those who are becoming involved in Krishna consciousness or ISKCON, please learn. It is not difficult. In England, even children speak English. And I have noticed one of the main problems about learning English or speaking, communicating in English is people are afraid of making mistakes. Make mistakes, so what? But by making mistakes, you will learn. But if you don't speak, actually when somebody hears you speak Hindi, even though it is full of mistakes, even though it is broken, they'll appreciate. They'll appreciate, oh, he's speaking Hindi. Bengali होते हुए भी हम English बोलते हैं, हिंदुस्तानी होते हुए भी English बोलते हैं, है ना? So mistakes will be there, but you will learn from them. The person who will, he will think happy that you are speaking. So mistakes will be there. So, rather people sometimes people tell me that they like my Hindi because it's full of mistakes. And so don't feel afraid, don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed. Speak. Even though you make mistakes, speak. Because by making mistakes we learn. And communication is very important. So you learn each other's language and try to communicate with each other. I'll say that two languages are very important here. The first is English, second is Hindi. We are in a Hindi-speaking part of India. So we have to speak Hindi also. So those who are non-Hindi speaking must learn Hindi. This is a very nice verse. This whole chapter is very nice because Kapila is speaking about devotional service. He is explaining devotional service. Explanation of devotional service. Lord Kapila, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady. Who is the noble lady here? His mother. And Devahuti. And he is instructing his mother as the Supreme Personality of God. And therefore, in Bhagavatam, it has been said, śrī-bhagavān uvāca, not Kapila uvāca. Other places we find, like Brahma uvāca, Suka uvāca, Puṁsāṁ uvāca, Narada uvāca, Uddhava uvāca. But here, śrī-bhagavān uvāca. This indicates that Kapila is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God. And especially the subject he is speaking, and with the authority that he is speaking about the subject is like he assuming the position of the Supreme Personality. And he is identifying himself. Satān prasangān mama vibhidyate. he is saying that in the association of saintly people, when the discussion goes on, that is filled with my potency. Meaning, he is identifying himself as the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, we have to understand that these are, we have to take these words as the words of the Supreme Personality. Kapila is the Supreme Personality of God. He is speaking this wisdom. So we must accept it in the right spirit and with right understanding. Prabhupada is pointing out, okay, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of the different qualities of the executor. And Prabhupada is saying in the purport, pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is one, because in pure devotional service there is no demand from the devotee to be fulfilled by the Lord. But generally people take to devotional service with a purpose. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, people who are not purified take to devotional service with 4 purposes. A person who is distressed because of material conditions becomes a devotee of the Lord and approaches the Lord for mitigation of his desire. A person in a need of money approaches the Lord to ask for some improvement in his monetary condition. Others who are not in distress or in need of monetary assistance but are seeking knowledge in order to understand the absolute truth also take to devotional service. And they inquire into the nature of the Supreme Lord. This is very nicely described in Bhagavad Gita 7:16. Actually, the path of devotional service is one without a second. But according to the devotee's condition, devotional service appears in multifarious varieties, as will be nicely explained in the following verses. So we can see Kapila is making a statement here that there are multifarious, there are many kinds of devotionals. There are many kinds of devotionals, depending upon the nature of the practitioner. So what are those? They can also be classified into 2. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is pointing out that pure devotional service is one. There is no difference. There is only one pure devotional. But there are various mixed devotional. Those mixed devotional services have been described in 2 categories. Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana. Karma Mishra Bhakti is when there is desire for fruitive action, fruitive results. Then that is called Karma Mishra. And when there is desire for liberation from material bondage, when devotional service is mixed with the desire for liberation from material bondage, that is called Jnana Mishra. Bhukti-kami and Mukti-kami. Bhukti-kami is one who wants to enjoy this material. And they also go for devotional service. Those who, actually there are various kinds of individuals who are desirous of material income. There is one kind is Gnostic. They don't believe in God. They don't care. And another kind is Astic. They believe in God. Those who believe in the existence of Supreme Personality of Godhead or some Supreme Personality, they generally approach the demigod. And demigod is to fulfill their material. That's why they offer, there are prayers. Prayers to Devi is like Dhanam Devi, Chandi. These are the prayers. Dhanam Devi, Yasho Devi, Visho Joyi, Dehi Dehi. So Dehi means give, give. Give me wealth, give me fame, give me victory in war, give me this, give me that. So they are asking to whom? They are asking Devi. Or they perform different types of sacrifices, and their understanding is that through the sacrifice they are going to please different demigods and they will fulfill their desire. But ultimately they come to the Supreme Personality. Still they have their desires to be fulfilled, but they are approaching Krishna for that. And Prabhupada is saying that is good. It is better to approach Krishna than the demigods. Because the demigods cannot fulfill your desires without the approval of Krishna. And besides that, if you approach the demigods and his desires are fulfilled, then you will develop your faith in the demigods. And it will be an obstacle in your path of Krishna consciousness. You won't develop your faith in Krishna. There are many people, they are demigod worshippers, and they say that we can't give up our attachment to them. We have been worshipping so many different demigods for so many years, for so many generations. How can we give up? But the ultimate goal of life is to develop our attachment to Krishna. Approaching the demigods, by approaching a demigod, one will go to the abode of the demigod. Janti deva vrata devan. Those who are worshipping demigods, they go to the demigod loka. But the problem with demigod loka is khine punne marta lokam vishnu. Demigods reside in the heavenly planet. You may be elevated to the heavenly planet. But when your piety is exhausted, piety is finished, then you come back to the earth planet again. Marta lokam vishnu. So why go to demigods? Because if you have to come back again, back to square one, then why waste your time in trying to please the demigods? So better is, even if you have your prayer, even if you have your desire to be fulfilled, approach Krishna. Approach Krishna. Because then what will happen? Your faith in Krishna will increase. You will say, Dhanam Dehi, and you get Dhanam. Then you will say, well, Krishna gave me Dhanam. Ask Krishna and Krishna gave. But then ultimately what will happen? In spite of having all the Dhanam, you will see that you are not happy. So what you do? When you are not happy, then you look for something else. By getting wealth, can one become happy? Like sometimes I come across some people, they're very rich. Very rich. But they're suffering so much. Like one very rich person just became sick and got, now after the test they found out that he got cancer. It has been good, like he was close to, he was somewhat Krishna conscious, he was favorably disposed. But because of this he has become more Krishna conscious. Because he is seeing that now he has no other way but to take care of Krishna. He sees that with all his money, he cannot do anything. What do you do with money? I mean, you can get treatment. He was having the best treatment. But still, sometimes it is getting improved, and just the other day he phoned me and he told me that they found some, they thought that cancer has been completely cleared, but then they found some traces of cancer still. That means this cancer cells can expand. So he is not cured. As it is, after all these treatments, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, it's already so weak. He actually wanted to come to Mayapur, but now the doctor said he was ready to come. But I'm not Mayapur, I'm sorry. Come to Ujjain. And Mayapur also. His plan was first to go to Mayapur and then come to Ujjain and stay here for some time. Now he's feeling so miserable. He made all his plans to come to India. But so here we see that although he has all the money, but he can't deal with this situation, this problem. But he's intelligent. He's taking shelter of Krishna. So, in this way we come across so many people, right? And we can see that in spite of having all the money, they're so miserable. And that is our nature. Do you think money will make people happy? Do you think the richest people in the world are happy? I know another very, very rich man. He is one of the richest Indians. And he is also very close to us. And his only son committed suicide. Can you imagine, like, all the money, what is the meaning of money to him? Like, you know, Vimal, Sri-Chan, like, Charu, his only son, and he was such a nice boy also. And who knows what happened? And you know, his whole life, his wife became practically mad. The only son, can you imagine, the only son, and your whole kingdom, all your wealth. The only person for whom you made it is gone. So the intelligent proposal is to realize that money, fame, name, position is not going to give you anything. The only thing that will matter in a real sense is your surrender. So develop your attachment. The other day one question came up. I was in Chandigarh. One devotee was asking the question whether one should approach Krishna for prayers to fulfill our material needs. And generally the tendency to think in ISKCON, we think, no, we shouldn't ask anything to Krishna. We shouldn't ask anything from Krishna. Anyway, we have to understand that is the highest platform. When one has become free from all desires, and when one has complete faith in Krishna, then that means when one is in the platform of pure devotion, then only that is possible. But if we haven't really been that advanced, then let's act from the platform where we are in. There is no harm in asking Krishna. If you, the one of the examples I gave, like when you become sick, you want to become cured, don't you? And you go to a doctor and you pray to the doctor, Dr. Saab, please cure me. So if you can go and pray to a doctor, then why can't you pray to Krishna? And the benefit will be, as I said, when you get cured, then your faith in Krishna will increase. Yes, I prayed to Krishna. On the other hand, if you just approach the doctor, then you think the doctor cured you. And that's how we generally tend to think. That who cures us, but when we approach through Krishna, then what happens? Then also we go to a doctor. But then we see that Krishna sent the doctor, and through the doctor he cured me. So this is how we have to become Krishna conscious. Ultimately, who is the supreme controller? Krishna is the supreme controller. Like somebody may come, if we may be in need of something. And say for example, we are in the middle of a desert. And I'm dying, we are dying of thirst. And we pray to Krishna. Then soon after that, we find a person comes with a truck of water and says, okay, come and drink. Now, won't you think that Krishna made the arrangement because we prayed to Krishna? Therefore, praying to Krishna is always good. Because gradually, it will increase our faith. And Prabhupada also clearly says that instead of praying to the demigods, if you have any prayer, pray to Krishna. Krishna probably will do it through the demigods. Because demigods are his agents. Krishna will not come and give you what you need. Like if you want some water, Krishna meaning of Krishna. So here, Prabhupada is pointing out that generally we find that there are in distress if you don't need money, but still, if you want to know the absolute truth, then believing in Krishna. But they are understanding because of the language and other things, because of the culture, because that religion developed in Middle East, coming in contact with Krishna, accepting the information, they are becoming devotees. There are so many Christians who don't think of his form. Don't think of his form. Or they sometimes conclude and they take him as long flowing shore. Satchidananda Vigraha. This information. But when you are practicing, let us grow gradually. The word bhakti means loving service. Bhaj. It is coming from the Sanskrit word bhaj. Why do you serve it? And you read Prabhupada's books also. Which one do you have?
It is Bhakti, the art of eternal love.
Okay, very good.
And perfect question and perfect
Perfect
answer.
question. Oh, very good. So, do you find those books helpful?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Very good. And if you have any question, you can ask the devotee. Yeah. Where do you live?
Bhagavan.
Mahaka. That is in the city. Oh, okay, okay. I thought Mahaka temple. So it's close by. What's your name?
Kushal Singh.
Achha. Vishal.
Kushal.
Kushal. Kushal. Very good. Sing, lion. Become like a lion-like devotee. Any other question? Yes, Geography.
Maharaj, when you were talking about that we should ask Krishna for everything, and then you gave an analogy that when we're sick we go to the doctor and when he cures us that instills our faith in him. And then when we ask Krishna for everything, then our faith, when he will give, that will increase our faith. So Maharaj, I just wanted to share something personal and ask you a question here. When I was really very sick, there is one Mataji, and she has a lot of faith in Krishna. And I think she's sitting here as well. And she told me that आप तो कृष्णा से मांगते नहीं ना, इसलिए आप ठीक नहीं हो रहे, आप जाते हो डॉक्टरों के पास. So she was really telling me like this in a joking way, but she really meant it. Because whenever she's been sick, she prays to Krishna and she becomes okay. Generally, she keeps good health. So your class is just making me think, Maharaj, that sometimes we reason that we have this body, so we need to go, but Krishna can thread an elephant through the eye of the needle. So then what
there are two ways of looking at it. Like completely depend upon Krishna and don't worry about it. But my point is that's a very advanced stage. Everybody won't be in that stage. There is another way of looking at it. Pray to Krishna and see that so many arrangements Krishna has made and take advantage of those arrangements and remain grateful. Like praying to Krishna, you see, like sometimes it happens, like some very advanced devotees don't want to take any other help. They want to simply depend upon Krishna. But that's a very advanced stage. Now, you see, our devotional service is natural growth. Like for example, when you're a baby, aren't you expected to behave like a baby? Or when you're a baby, you should behave like a grown-up. Like when we are also, similarly, when we are babies in spiritual life, let's behave like babies. Why should we try to behave like a grown-up? And main thing is to see that how everything is actually Krishna-like. Just like I gave the example of you're hungry. When you're hungry, do you say that you're not going to eat because you're a pure devotee? Rather, actually very advanced devotees will do that. Like Madhavendra Puri. He never asked for food. If the food came to him, then only he took it. So, but the thing is, that is Madhavendra Puri. Like normally what we are doing, do we say only when the food will come to me I will eat, otherwise I'll just sit in my room? We are seeing that Krishna arrangement has been made for Krishna Prashad. And therefore we just show up there at 2:30. Everybody shows up. Now whose arrangement is that? Krishna's arrangement. So our business is to see that how everything is arranged by Krishna. How everything is Krishna's mercy. Now, again to go back to that point. Yes, the Mataji who said that is correct. What she was pointing out, you are depending only on the doctor. Right? I mean, I'm just taking her side off. You're depending only on the doctor. But see that the doctor is Krishna's element. That is the real meaning. Right? Any other question?
Sir, I am not satisfied with your answer.
Okay. Tell me, how can I satisfy you?